This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, have won. Well, they're 8-5 without Jalen Brunson right now, which is better than what I thought they would be. I thought the Knicks were going to be like 5-5. Not 5-5, like a 500 basketball team without Brunson, but they're 8-5 over the last 13 games. I mean, that's I guess over the last 13 games they had to be either winning or losing, but it's not too bad. Although, they win against sub 500 and lose against above 500. But they're figuring out how to play without Jalen Brunson, and I think that's what we needed to see from this basketball team at this point in the season. 48-27 on the season, ladies and gentlemen. 4 games above the Indiana Pacers. 7 games above the Milwaukee Bucks, who are in the 6th seed. At this point in time, the Knicks look like they could be on a collision course to play the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round of the playoffs. So, things are looking up from the last time I was here. I could tell you that. And I know, from time to time I've got to miss a couple of days, but, it is what it is right now. But ladies and gentlemen, things are looking up. They're looking better. The Knicks are starting Delon Wright at the point guard spot. And I know there's some people upset that Wright is starting over Tyler Kolek, but it's worked. So you can't say too much. You can't be too upset about it. It's working right now. It's working. The Knicks have won 3 in a row. Since Wright has started, they've been winning. Now, have they played the best competition? No. But they've been winning, so it's hard. It's hard to argue with the results, right? You can't argue with the results. Can't do that. You know what I mean? Don said, I wanted the old angry Sim like the last time. Well, I can't be mad if they're winning basketball games. Only scored 105 points, but they only gave up 91. Now, Philadelphia's not a good basketball team. Not to say the least. Terrible basketball team right now. You know what I mean? Slew of injuries, of course, people not playing. Quentin Grimes is their best player. No disrespect to Quentin Grimes, but if he's the best player on your basketball team, then you're probably where you are right now. You're probably the team that you are. They're 23-53 on the season. 1-9 in their last 10 games. You know what I mean? So, I can't be too mad. I can't be too mad. Now, it's obvious. I mean, the Knicks didn't have Karl Anthony Towns. They didn't have Jalen Brunson. They had enough to win the basketball game. They beat them 105-91. They had a bigger lead than that. You know what I mean? How can you be upset? The question is, what's it going to look like tomorrow against the Cleveland Cavaliers? We'll get the chance to talk about that. Big shout out to my man, Ron from Still Knicks fan in the building. You know what I mean? Always love when Ron is able to join me on a show or something like that, because he's got the radio voice. You know what I mean? He makes the show better. Shout out to my brother, man. But Delon Wright, he's been a surprise to me, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? He's been a big surprise. He's been playing very good basketball for this team as the if you want to call him the starting point guard, he's done well over the past 3 games. 12 points versus Milwaukee, 12 points, 4 assists versus Milwaukee, 7 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds versus Portland, 12 points, 4 assists tonight. And the Knicks are 3-0 in those games. He's played 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and 33 minutes tonight. He shot 55% from the field against Milwaukee. He shot 50% from the field against Portland. He shot 57% from the field tonight. He shot 40% from the three-point line against Milwaukee. 50% from the three-point line tonight and versus Portland. Right? You cannot argue with the results. He's played good defense. He's 6'5". He's added length to the lineup. So it's hard to argue right now. And I see Kevin or someone said, I don't need points from a point guard. That's not true. Because Jalen Brunson gives you points from the point guard position. Right? Come on. Oh, B-Baller. B-Baller said, I don't want points from my point guard. Not Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. That can't be true, bro. Because Jalen Brunson gives you points from the point guard position. You dig what I'm saying? He gives you, that's what he does. That's who he is. That's who he is. All I'm saying is Wright has played very well since he's been inserted into the lineup. So it's hard to argue with the results. It also means that you may have found someone with a little bit more length that you can use in that second lineup. Right? That can provide defense, that can shoot the three, can do some D and 3 and D stuff. You know what I'm saying? B-Ball, he says, so is he a starting point guard? We're down to our third, fourth string point guard, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously not. He's obviously not that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He was a throw-in in a trade. Or whatever it was. Of course not. But he's helping this basketball team right now. Come on. How can you deny that? Because you didn't get what you wanted, you're gonna deny success because you didn't get what you wanted. That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That does not make sense to me. He's playing good basketball for this basketball team. That's all that matters to me. I was in support of Kolek starting versus Milwaukee and going forward. I thought that's what should happen. It didn't. Tom Thibodeau went with Wright. And so far, it's been right. You can't say it's been wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's done enough. And he's added to wins. He's helped the team to win. Probably because of his defense. Right? Not because of his scoring. But he's shown the ability to shoot the ball and make the three. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about scoring. See, B-Baller, you're only looking at me saying that he's scoring the basketball. I'm talking about being able to be a threat. There's a difference. Because when you're able to be a threat, when you're able to knock down a three, it spreads the floor for other people. You know that. It spreads the floor for other people to work. Now, if you compare that to Kolek, I'm not trying to diss the kid, but he hasn't been knocking down the three. Come on. Yes, he can distribute the basketball. No, he does not play defense. Or I'm not going to say he doesn't play defense. He's not a great defender. He does try hard. Right? So he's got some work to do. That's okay. That's totally okay. Don't be upset because you didn't get your way. Come on, man. Don't be upset because you didn't get your way. You know. Parrish said, Kolek needs to play this amount. That's all we need. Okay. So, you're saying he needs to play a certain amount of minutes. Okay, here you go. Parrish, thank you again for the super chat. Thank you for both super chats, by the way. He said, Kolek should have been playing minutes since January. And I also think Wright should be starting over Deuce as well because he does more playmaking and size. Okay, well, I don't know. Playing minutes since January. I don't necessarily agree. I think, where he is and what he's doing right now is fine. When everybody comes back, I'm sure he'll go back to being situational. And Wright will probably go back to being situational as well, although he may have found a few minutes because of his defense. I mean, I'm just happy at what the guys are doing now. You know what I mean? That's all. Sean, Sim said the Knicks have no bench because that ass coach was playing no one, but his starters now look. Sim is proving wrong because, once again, when defending, blah, 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 take your time and say it right, Sean. We scored 105 points tonight. All I'm saying is that Wright is participating to these wins. Wright wasn't always on this basketball team either. So let's not forget about that. But what I'm saying is, that he's participating. He's done well. They've scored 105 points against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are depleted. You understand what I'm saying? Come on. Let's not go overboard. Don't go overboard with me. Not tonight. Not tonight. Don't go overboard with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't go overboard. We don't have that great of a bench. You know what I'm saying? We've played Milwaukee, who's not good. We've played Portland, who, the Knicks had to battle in that game, and then Philadelphia. Teams that aren't that good. So let's not do that. JJ, he said, do you think Shamet's coming around? I hope so. He's played well in the last few games. You know what I mean? He played well tonight. Hopefully, the Knicks will need his shooting in the playoffs. The Knicks will need his shooting to loosen things up in the playoffs because in the playoffs, the defense is going to be much tighter, right? The last 4 games, he's had 11 points versus Dallas. He had 13 points versus Milwaukee. He had 11 points tonight he had 11 points versus Dallas, 6 points versus the Clippers, 13 versus Milwaukee, and 11 points versus Portland. Right? So, let's hope that he's coming around. You know what I mean? And is more comfortable playing, with this basketball. Now he's getting more minutes, of course. And he had 20 points tonight. Right? He's getting more minutes, so, more minutes is going to come with more production, but he's actually producing. You know what I mean? He's actually producing. So that's exactly what the Knicks need from Shamet. And the exact reason this right here, the performances that he's giving are the exact reason that they held a spot for him. You know what I mean? So let's hope that he continues this going into the playoffs, because if he does, that definitely adds to the depth of this basketball team. If he can continue to play at this level. You know what I'm saying? If he can continue to play at this level, can't be mad at him at all. He's playing. He's a vet in the league. He's been playing well. The Knicks will need him to continue to play good basketball. Let me get to a phone call real quick. I got my man Silk on the line. Silk, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
What up, son? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. You know, I'm glad the Knicks got the win and whatnot. I don't want us to go overboard. You know, people, oh, you said the Knicks didn't have depth, this, that, and the third. I want to remind people that we beat up on some teams that aren't that good. So I'm not going crazy and saying that we have this type of depth.
Ain't all that right now.
You know what I mean? You know, I'm not going crazy with that.
This star players Grimes, and all they had to do is put OG on Grimes, and you ain't see no 25 points score night from Grimes. Grimes is what he is. He can beat up on guys lower than him.
Yeah. I mean, I hope Grimes gets a contract.
Yeah, he's going to get a contract.
You know what I'm saying? Hope he gets a contract.
Philly going to have a nice little squad. The young kid, the rookie that got hurt in the beginning of the season, you put Grimes for him on the bench. You got Tyrese Maxey. We don't know about Embiid. The OGs on that team, they can stay healthy, but they got a nice little young squad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they try to keep that first round pick. I don't know if they're going to keep it or not, but they try to keep that first round pick.
I mean, the thing is, for Philadelphia, I mean, you got Paul George and you got Joel Embiid, right? You got to be able to. You still got to put pieces around those guys. You got to try to win with them. It didn't work this year, but you got to try to win with them. So, I don't know. How do you try to win with those guys as well as build for the future? Because you've got to build for the future too. You know, I mean, you got to prioritize the future with this team.
You think they're going to give the money to Oubre or Grimes? Who do you think they're going to give the money to?
I'd give it to Grimes. Quick, easy. I'd give it to Grimes. I'd give Grimes the money. You know, he's young. He's going to get better. I'm not saying Oubre is nothing wrong with Oubre. I like Kelly Oubre. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind having him on the Knicks in a backup role. But from Philadelphia, I think I'm starting to prioritize. I'm trying to figure out a way to add pieces to this team that can help me in the future, but still win with Joel Embiid and Paul George. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the Knicks may be able to sneak, because who got cap money next year besides Brooklyn Nets? I don't see too many teams in a winning position next year. And the year after that, I can see that. That's why I don't think Randall's going to opt out of his contract. I think he's going to wait till the year after. I think the following years where these teams going to have cap space.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of teams who are in winning conditions next year who are going to have cap space unless you want to go to the Brooklyn Nets or somebody like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. People might go to Brooklyn. People go to Brooklyn. It's a prime time, team.
What are we doing, Sam? You keeping hope alive? Come on, what are we doing? And nobody want to go to Brooklyn. they ain't got no fans, man. Nobody want to go to Brooklyn.
I don't know. What do you think about tonight's win? How do you feel about it? Who is it? Someone just said, someone said I'm trying to pull wool over people's eyes. Sean Richardson said the Bucks are a playoff team. People, I guess they're a playoff team, without Dame Lillard, but not a good one. You've seen them drop in the standings without Damian Lillard right now. You know what I'm saying? 4-6 in the last 10. They've dropped to the 6th seed, and they're going to remain in the 6th seed. They're too far ahead of Atlanta to drop to the 7th seed, but they will remain in that 6th seed. I can guarantee that. So, yeah, they're a playoff team because they had Dame Lillard all year. Would they be a playoff team? Would they be a playoff team if they didn't have Dame all year? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Giannis is healthy. Giannis is going a little bit slower speed. So they'll make the playoff. They make the 6th seed. But if Giannis ain't carrying them, they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, they'll make the 6th seed because they already had, they were already, they had already built their record with Dame out there. So
I'm going to ask you a question, Sim.
Yeah.
Do you think what's going on with Memphis, is Triple J going to leave?
It's who?
Because it seems like there's a battle with what kind of offense they want to run. It seems like Ja want to be the pick and roll, and the Memphis management, who I hear kind of forced the offensive change on the coach. They want a movement offense. They don't want straight up pick and roll, and that benefited Triple J this year. You think he's going to stay there?
Yeah.
But what's going on with Memphis?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. Well, you know how the NBA is today. There's movement everywhere all season long. Not all season long. Or all throughout the summer, this and that, all kinds of movement. Teams don't stay together. But what do you think about tonight's win? How do you feel about Wright?
No, I like Delon Wright. I was pulling for Delon Wright earlier. I was wondering why we traded for him. He's a 6'5" defensive guard who can occasionally hit a three.
Mm-hmm.
Why we wasn't putting what Tim was taking so long to get him any minutes. When Shamet was struggling, I was saying, get Delon Wright a shot. Because he is a defensive guard. And Shamet wasn't hitting threes early on. Why not give him a shot? I was wondering. You know him and Shumpert. Those are my two guys. But I guess he ain't playing the two-way guys. He playing the guys he's going to use in the playoffs. He'll look at the two-way guys next year.
You think he's yeah. You mean the two-way as far as G League and
the guy we just took, the Shumpert and that guy what's the guy that played for Boston?
Yeah,
I think his name is Warren. Those two guys, they're not getting no minutes because he can't use them in the playoffs. So.
TJ Warren is gone, right?
No, not Warren. Not TJ Warren. The other guy, I forgot the guy's name. That was big for the Boston Celtics, and we picked him up on the two-way.
Okay.
With Shumpert.
Moses.
So those two guys, they're not getting minutes, even on garbage time. Not really.
You talking about Moses Brown? You talking about Moses Brown?
No, not Brown. I can't think of his name right now.
Well, I know a lot of people were calling for the Knicks to play Moses Brown. I can tell you what. I watched him play the other day, Friday night. He's not ready to play in the NBA, in my opinion. Sorry, guys. He's tall. He had 20-something rebounds, but he's 7'1", and nobody else out there was 7'1". He should have 20-something rebounds against the Capital City Go-Go, but he's kind of he's a little weak, in my opinion, to play in the NBA right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the guy Watson, not the guy Anton Watson. But yeah, Moses Brown, I hear that he plays better when stuff runs through him, but that ain't gonna happen with us. You're not gonna get touches in the paint.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
But we had a good game.
Do you think Wright has earned himself some playoff minutes?
That's a problem. You know I coach, right? So when you got Brunson, Deuce, and Cam back, where the minutes coming from? Who you sitting to give Wright minutes?
I mean, he's only playing three guys. He's only playing, who's he playing off the bench? Deuce, Cam, Shamet, and Mitch. When Mitch goes back to the bench, because Mitch started tonight, we're going to talk about Mitch some. When Mitch started tonight, when Mitch is in the rotation, Precious is not in the rotation. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's playing 9. I guess he's not going to go any more than 9. So, does he get playoff minutes? No, you're right. He probably goes back to being situational.
Because funny thing is, Shamet is getting more in his rhythm shooting with Kolek there than Cam. So Cam be looking for his shot, while Kolek be looking to feed Shamet. So it seems like Shamet's more in the rhythm with his three-point shooting with Kolek. But Kolek ain't going to get no minutes either.
Yeah, because Kolek's defense, he's lacking on the defensive side.
Right.
He's lacking
but he's
on that
feeding Cam. He's feeling Shamet, and I'm seeing when him and Shamet are in the game together, Shamet's getting into more rhythm with his threes. Cam got to look at that and I can't be always trying to shoot. Let me try to free some of my shooters.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't see, Delon and Kolek, they're going to be back on the bench when the regular Deuce.
Most likely.
Cam come back.
Most likely. You know, those guys will be back.
We're
on
going to
the
see
bench.
tomorrow, though.
But,
You think Mitch is playing tomorrow? He wasn't on the injury report. And we're gonna need two bigs against Cleveland.
Well, is Karl Anthony Towns playing tomorrow?
He'll play tomorrow. They probably gave him over tonight because it's back-to-back. His knee's tender. They didn't want him playing 2 games back-to-back.
I personally,
they probably gave him more just to do that because it's Philly.
Personally, without Brunson, I don't see us winning.
No, we probably don't.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to play Karl Anthony Towns tomorrow. Let him rest.
How about Mitch? You gonna play Mitch in a back-to-back? You think Mitch is ready for back-to-back?
I would play Mitch he only played 20-something minutes tonight because the Knicks were up big. Right? So I think I would play Mitch tomorrow. As long as he's free and clear to play back-to-backs, I think I would play him. You know what I mean? Help him, get his win. Maybe play him some limited minutes and play more, let Precious get more minutes. But I think I would play.
You still on that Precious train?
Hey, I mean, listen, Precious is going. If Karl Anthony Towns ain't playing, Precious is going to play.
Precious with them post moves. He's a righty, and like Clark kept saying, why he keep shooting with his left hand? He a righty. Why he keep shooting with his left hand and keep missing it?
Listen,
I'm saying the same thing. If you're right-handed, your power hand is your right hand.
Yeah.
Why you keep posting and trying to shoot with your left?
Maybe he's ambidextrous. He was 1 for 11 tonight, though, but he did have 9 rebounds.
I don't know. I'm on the mode. I don't mind if I don't see Precious next year. Give me somebody else who got a little bit more skill than Precious.
Okay.
Precious is too inconsistent for me.
Okay. I get it.
But
that's what a backup guy is going to be, right? A backup guy is going to be inconsistent.
Huh?
A backup guy, a bench player is going to be inconsistent.
Nas Reed ain't inconsistent. He coming off Minnesota's bench.
you have higher level guys. You know what I'm saying? Precious isn't one of those higher level guys, though. He has some ability, but it's like you said, it's inconsistent.
Yeah, so that's why we never gonna touch Boston or Cleveland if we got guys like that. At least Shamet is showing a little bit more consistency with his jump shot ever since Cole been feeding the ball. But Precious, he one game he's scoring 12 points. Next game he keeps missing his little post points in the paint. He keeps shooting with his off hand in the paint instead of his strong hand. Don't make no sense to me. You're posting in the paint, trying to shoot with your strong. It's like Jalen Brunson always gonna try to shoot with his right hand when he's in the post. No, he in the post. He be always shooting with his left hand. Different angle, but he shoots mostly with his strong hand.
Yeah, I don't know, but he gives you some inside presence, some shot blocking, some defense. He could defend, 3 positions. So
I see Huck Porty taking his spot next year. Because he's doing the same thing that Huck Porty will be doing.
That could be. The thing, are you having Huck Porty and Mitch both come off the bench? Or do you see Mitch taking the starting spot
But what's the difference between them and Precious? Precious and Mitch don't shoot threes.
But
Huck Porty and Mitch shoot threes.
Yeah, but are you doing that for an entire season? And they have a size difference. So Precious can defend 4s and 3s. Mitch can't defend 4s and 3s. Huck Porty can't defend 4s and 3s.
I think Huck Porty can.
I don't know, man. Depending
he
on
who
He was
doing it before he got hurt. Before he got hurt, he was starting to guard 4s and 3s.
Maybe in short stints. But maybe in short stints. But now, if Mitch is starting next year, then you can have Huck Porty at that starting 5 and round out the rest of the line.
And I think that's where Beauchamp's going to come in. Beauchamp's going to be our backup 3-4.
Okay.
That's where I'm seeing if Dottie is not completely ready to take that position, that's why they got Beauchamp on the 2-way.
Yeah. I mean, Dottie.
So he plays defense. He got a little bit of 3. He gonna be that backup for either Bridges or OG as a 3-4 guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But we'll see.
See what happens,
But
man.
all right,
Playoffs right around the corner, man. Playoffs right 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
So you got no confidence
Playoffs
tomorrow. So tomorrow you got down as a loss, no matter what. We losing tomorrow.
I don't, I don't see us winning that game.
Cleveland been up and down. Cleveland been up and down lately.
Yeah.
It's like they wait for the playoffs.
They've been up and down, but without Brunson,
right.
I don't see it.
Hopefully Spider take a rest today. He don't play. Hopefully Spider take a rest today.
Who?
Management. Spiders.
Oh.
Maybe maybe Spider be at the Met game or something.
Let me see. Cleveland right now is 16-15. They're 5-5 in the last 10. But they're 16-15. Obviously nobody's touching them. They'd have to take a serious slide. Well, Boston's 4 games behind them. They'd have to take a serious slide.
They're on a 9-game winning streak, Boston.
Yeah, they're on a 9-game winning streak.
Cleveland can't afford to lose no games, so they might play everybody.
So they've played 75 games. They have 7 games left. Boston has 7 games left. They'd have to lose 4 while Boston wins 4. I guess it's possible if they continue to slide the way they're sliding.
Yeah, I don't think Cleveland gonna rest their players because Boston's right on their behind. Boston ain't been losing no games lately.
No, Boston's
they can't afford to be losing no games either.
Boston's hooping. I don't know.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. If they're playing their guy, if they're playing everybody, I don't see us winning. But
that's for the last game. I saw everybody playing. I saw D. Wright, Drew Holiday, Porzingis. I saw everybody playing the last game.
Yeah.
So I don't think right now, until they get that lock on the number 1 seed, they might just play with their regulars until then.
Yeah. When they played the Clippers the other night, they played everybody: Garland, Mitchell, Jared Allen, Mobley, Max Strus. Everybody played. So yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we probably ain't gonna win them all, but hopefully let's just keep it close.
Let's compete.
That's all.
That's where I'm at. Let's compete. You know what I mean? Let's compete. Yeah. All right. So appreciate it.
All
man.
right, brother.
All right.
Till next time.
All right. Peace. Don, you said, Sim, what do you want to see in tomorrow's game since you got us losing it? What would you like to see from the players and the coach? I just want us to compete. Right? I don't want to get blown out by 30 against Cleveland tomorrow. You know what I mean? Come out and play hard, compete against them. What I would want to see from Tom Thibodeau was really trying to utilize defensive matchups, figure out some defensive matchups. You know what I mean? You're always trying to win the basketball game with who you have, but I'd want to, really focus in on defensive matchups, strategies, schemes, figuring out how to keep him off the 3-point line. You know what I mean? I'd want to play Mitch tomorrow because I want to see what Mitch looks like against this basketball team. Honestly, I kind of wouldn't mind, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't mind playing Karl Anthony Towns, some minutes so I can see what it looks like with Mitch and Karl Anthony Towns matching up against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Let's see what that looks like. You know what I mean? So I'd want to see what some of these things look like in the event that we play them in the playoffs. Right now, with the way things are shaping up, we wouldn't see them until the Eastern Conference Finals. But I wouldn't mind getting a look at what some of these things could be. Just so we have something on tape, something on video to start planning for in the event that we see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I would be doing. That's what I would try to do. Of course, when I'm out there, I'm trying to win, but I'm also, doing some research. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks defeat the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. The depleted Philadelphia 76ers, might I add. But the Knicks were pretty much depleted themselves. No Karl Anthony Towns, no Jalen Brunson. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say depleted, but, their two top guns were not in the building, or they weren't on the floor. Let's say that. They were in the building, but not on the floor. But the Knicks got enough. They were led in scoring by OG Anunoby. 27 points from OG Anunoby tonight. OG Anunoby has been on a tear over however many games. He's been killing it. Me and Tony had a discussion about who was going to step up in Jalen Brunson's absence, and I thought it would be OG Anunoby instead of Mikal Bridges, and OG has been stepping up. The last 5 games for OG, 35 points versus Dallas, 28 points versus the Los Angeles Clippers, 31 points versus Milwaukee, 28 versus Portland, and 27 versus the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. He's played 38, 37, 36, 37, and 33 minutes. He shot 62% versus Dallas, 64.7% versus the Clippers, 42.9% versus Milwaukee, 68.8% versus Portland, and 44% tonight versus Philadelphia. He's knocking it down from the three-point line, 50% versus Dallas, 60% versus the Clippers, 30% versus Milwaukee, 40% versus Portland. Tonight he only shot at 22%. 9 3-point attempts, though. He's getting to the line. He was 10 for 10 versus Milwaukee, 11 for 13 tonight. All right, OG is playing all-around basketball for this team, and he's proving that he can help to carry the load, carry the scoring load. And I'm really, I'm hoping that this is really good for Cat and for Jalen Brunson to see that he is the third scorer on this basketball team above Mikal Bridges. I've thought this since, I don't want to say right from the beginning of the season, but at a certain point in the season, I felt that he was a better scorer than Mikal Bridges. It was early in the season, but, just after maybe 20 or 30 games or something like that, we had a discussion about it. And I think, it's proven to be correct right now. You know what I mean? He uses his body better. He can knock down the three. He's developing the mid-range. He still is a little bit clumsy here and there, falling on the floor and doing those type of things. But he's the bully. He's the bully that we don't have on. I thought we didn't have on this team. You know what I mean? He's that bully. He bullies himself to the basket. He moves people out the way. He doesn't have the greatest footwork, but what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But OG has been, he's been playing great basketball for this team. You know what I mean? He's been playing great basketball. Jay Williams said, let's not conveniently forget OG's many slumps this year. He's had a couple of slumps. He had a couple. He has. It's no doubt about that. One of them was when he came back from injury. Right, but right now, he's playing at a very, very high level, maybe the best basketball of his career. Let's be real about that. He might be playing the best basketball of his career, and maybe he's become, and maybe he's, really rounding into a primary scorer for this team. Maybe he is. You know what I mean? I think he is. I mean, he's shown that it's. I just love what I'm seeing from him. Paris, thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Great signs to be better. One, OG has found something that has him becoming great. A great offensive player. Yep, that's what we're talking about right now. A great offensive player. He's becoming that. And we're watching it before our eyes. Now, it's up for Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson to recognize that and make sure that they find areas within the offense for OG to get his. right? Because that's going to expand the offense. That's going to give us more options out there on the floor. Makes it tougher to just cue in on Brunson or cue in on Cat. 2, Mitch looks real. We'll talk about Mitch. And 3, the Cat-Mitch combo. We haven't seen much of it. I'm hoping to see some against Cleveland tomorrow. If I'm thinking Cat might not play, but if they both play, and maybe they will, and maybe that's the reason why Cat sat out tonight. So, maybe he will play. I would love to see. I would love to see what both of them look like against Cleveland, and then depth. We have more depth, I guess, since from the beginning of the season. I guess we can say we're growing it. With Brunson being out and Deuce is out, and Cam is out. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing Wright produce, Kolick is producing. So, hopefully it's real. Hopefully we've shown that we do have some. I'm not excited I'm not like crazy excited about it, but I'll tell you what, let's compete. I'm not saying win. Let's compete against Cleveland tomorrow with what we have. And then we talk about that depth. But OG, man, he's doing it. You know what I mean? He's really playing good basketball. He's really stepped up. And we've seen him do it last season. Right? When guys were out, he stepped up and scored. You know what I mean? I think part of it though is when guys come back, he too easily takes a back seat. It's too easy for him to say, okay, I did what I could do while you guys were out. I handled my business. Now you guys take it over again. We don't need that. We need him to say, I'm part of this there's a big 3 here. Brunson, Cat, and OG. We need OG to say that and believe that and put that in his head. You know what I'm saying? And put that, JJ, that's what I'm saying right now. We need for OG. JJ said, how does he keep the aggression with Brunson back? Brunson's got to do his job and recognize what OG can do on the floor offensively. And he's getting a first-hand look. He's watching it on the bench. He's seeing it on the bench. Right? So he's got to recognize that on the floor. And Tom Thibodeau has got to make sure that it happens. Right? Tom Thibodeau has got to put it in the playbook if it's not already in the playbook, or just give the instructions. Hey, find OG. OG can score. Right? OG can score, JB. Find him. Relieve yourself a little bit. You don't have to do everything. Save yourself for the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? If Tibbs can tell Brunson, and then Brunson can do it on the floor, they're both watching it happen before their eyes. So it makes no sense to not utilize his ability. It would make no sense not to do that. You know what I mean? Because they're both watching it happen. So Tom Thibodeau's got to bark the instructions to Brunson, and then Brunson's got to implement it on the floor. Get OG the ball. Let him go to work too. Give yourself a break. You know what I mean? You don't have to create everything. You know what I mean? And then, right, JJ, and then in crunch time, when it's time, you have the energy, you have the strength, you know what I'm saying, to go get you a bucket. So, we'll see if that happens. And if that can happen, I think we give ourselves a better chance against a team like Boston. You know what I mean? Because now, OG is a real threat. A real threat. So, we just, we got to see it happen. But OG tonight, again, 27 points tonight for OG Anunoby against the Philadelphia 76ers. He did it in 33 minutes. 20 points for Landry Shamet. his best game as a Knick. 14 points for Mikal Bridges, 14 points and 14 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson. I'm so happy to see Mitchell Robinson have a good basketball game. Since his return, he's had to adjust to coming off the bench. That's a big adjustment for him. I mean, he's come off the bench. Obviously, when he first came to the team, he was coming off the bench. He became a starter. You know what I mean? And then now Karl Anthony Towns comes to the team and he's injured. He's got to take. You didn't even get a chance in training camp to see what, a Cat and Mitch combo would look like. So he's coming off the bench. So that's an adjustment for him, and he's trying to figure out how he fits in that way. But for him to come in tonight, 14 points and 14 rebounds it's got to feel good for him. And hopefully it's a sign that he's really rounding into shape. He's getting his wind back. He only played 20 minutes tonight. So it's not like he played 30. If it was a closer game, he might have played 25 to 30 minutes. You know what I mean? But if we can get this Mitch in 25 minutes a game in the playoffs, that's going to be magnificent. You know what I mean? That's just going to be great for this basketball team. They will need Mitch. They will need Mitch in the playoffs, especially against big teams like Boston. We're on a collision course to play Boston. A collision course, and the Knicks will need Mitchell Robinson. They're going to need his height. They're going to need his defense. So I'm glad he's beginning to get in shape. Delon Wright had 12 points tonight. He might be a guy that's needed versus Boston for his defense, and he's been able to knock down threes. Tyler Kolek had 7 points and 7 assists. Will he be needed against a team like Boston? I don't know, but I'll say this. It'd be nice for him to get a chance to get his feet wet in the playoffs in the first round at least. So if he is needed against Boston, he's not nervous coming into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that, he'd be scared of anything, but it's natural for any young player coming into the playoffs to have a little bit of nerves. Get it out against Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? He's played. He's been able to come in and produce, help you stay above water. The Knicks are 8-5 without Brunson. He's part of that 8-5 record. You know what I'm saying? He deserves to get a couple of minutes in the playoffs, even though the roster might be full. Let him get a couple of minutes to get his feet wet. See what that playoff intensity is about. You know what I mean? See what that defense will be about. Get some, get a couple assists in, hopefully knock down a shot or two. And get that feel just in case you need him later on, because Brunson's ankle is still going to be sore. I don't care what nobody says. Brunson's ankle is going to be sore still. There could always be a chance that he twists it again. Whatever you want to say, that it may not be 100%. You know what I mean? We'll see what it looks like. So he may need that support. Shout out to my guy on Diosk. Always supporting the channel. Said if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Sit back and enjoy the show. Please do so, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Kevin said a collision course to play Boston. Yes, but I won't look past the first opponent. Worry about who's in front of you first. I agree 100%. Because they still have Giannis. Right? They're not playing great basketball right now, Milwaukee. Well, at least that's who we're on a collision course to play in the first round is Milwaukee right now. And it looks to me like this is where we're probably going to stay. So, yeah, that's they got Giannis. You know what I mean? He changes the game just like that. You know what I mean? So, I agree 100%. We cannot look past that first round matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the new app, nbkfam.app. You can become a member. You don't have to become a member. There's some merchandise on there. It's growing. All right, so make sure that you check that out. All right, nbkfam.app. Go ahead and check that out, ladies and gentlemen. For the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, they were led in scoring by Quentin Grimes, the former Knick. 26 points for Quentin Grimes. Shot 44%. 16, the three wasn't falling for him. Shot 90% from the free throw line. I really hope that he finds himself a spot. Gets a nice contract. You know what I mean? And even if it's with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, 26 points for Quentin Grimes. 15 points for Ricky Council, ladies and gentlemen. 11 points for Lonnie Walker. 10 points for Alex Reese. A lot. Not a lot of young guys out there for the Philadelphia 76ers right now. You know what I mean? The Sixers, rough season for them. Very rough season for Philadelphia. You got to kind of feel bad for Paul George, man. I know he went to Philadelphia feeling like, between him and Maxey and Joel Embiid, they'd be a championship level squad. Between Paul George and Joel Embiid, those guys just, I'm never gonna see that they can stay on the court together. It's not gonna work, in my opinion. For Philadelphia, I'd find a way to blow it up. I don't know if they can. They gave Paul George a contract. Joel Embiid's got a contract. Yeah. I don't know if they can blow it up, to be honest with you. They're in a bad situation. They're in a really bad situation in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? The Knicks out-rebound Philadelphia 44-42. Okay, not bad. 23 assists for the Knicks, 23 for Philadelphia, 10 steals for the Knicks, 11 for Philadelphia. The Knicks had 18 turnovers tonight. It's a good thing we were playing Philadelphia because, 18 turnovers versus a better team, we might have been blown out the building. Knicks only shot 42% from the field, 38% from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. Good thing Philadelphia is just not a good shooting team right now. 54 points in the paint for Philly, 44 for the Knicks. Both teams with 16 second chance points. The Knicks win the fast break contest by 2 points, 17-15. So the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, are 3 wins away from locking down the 3rd seed. Now, they can go, 3 wins by the Knicks or combinations of wins and losses by whoever else that's out there. I guess, between them and Indiana. Right now, Indiana can do no better than, let me see, they're 44-31. That's 75 games. They have 7 games left. They can do no better than 51 wins. The Knicks also have 7 games left. Right? The best they can do is 55 wins. They can do no worse than 34 losses. The Knicks. Right, so any combination of wins and losses between the Knicks and Indiana, the Knicks can lock down the 3rd seed. Okay. I see Sean said F the 3rd seed. This coach have to beat the teams he's supposed to beat in the playoffs. Do you guys not understand that in order to get to the playoffs, like this is the process of getting to the playoffs? I don't understand all of this stuff about, the regular season means nothing. That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. It does mean something. Now, you may want the Knicks to do better in the playoffs, but in order to get to the playoffs, you've got to the entire season is a playoff. Put that in your just put that there. The entire season is a playoff. Because if you don't care about the regular season, you may not make the playoffs. I mean, how can you not understand that? Like, it's not, I could see if every team made the playoffs. Now what you're saying makes sense because you make the playoffs regardless. But guess what? You don't make the playoffs regardless. So the entire season is a playoff. It's just the tournament begins at a certain date. But the entire season is a playoff. That's the reason why when you look at the standings, you see that some teams have been what? Eliminated. Some teams are eliminated from the play-in. And then when you get into the play-in, you get eliminated from the playoffs. And then when you get into the playoffs, you get eliminated out of the tournament altogether. So, of course, the regular season means something. It just doesn't make sense when people say that to me. Oh, the regular season doesn't mean anything. Do it in the playoffs. Well, we got to get to the playoffs in order to do it in the playoffs. Get to the playoffs. I can understand, Kevin, you said a team can beat you 4 times during the season and you can send them home in the playoffs. Very true, because in a regular season, a team might be coming off a back-to-back. A team may be, the best player's not playing. All of these different circumstances happen during the regular season. So I understand that argument. That's very true. But it doesn't mean that the regular season is worthless. It doesn't mean anything because you have to get through the regular season in order to make the playoffs. And when you see players are out and things like that, that's part of teams making sure that they can get through the regular season. But you can't dismiss the regular season. And you can't dismiss, forget about the 3rd seed. You can't dismiss the mentality it takes to say, let's not back our way into the playoffs. Right? You don't want to back your way into the playoffs. You want to take control and secure your spot. You take control of it. Right? That's the mentality of a winner. I take control. I control my destiny. That's how winners think. Right? So yes, I want to lock down the 3rd seed. That's where we are right now. Let's lock it down. We didn't do well enough to lock down the 2nd seed. Let's lock down the 3rd seed. That means something. That's important. So that's hogwash to say it doesn't mean anything. Lock it down. Lock it down. And then play who's on your schedule. Then play who's slated to play against you. Lock it down. That's the mentality of a winner and a team with confidence. They're not just going to throw, wherever we land, that's what we do. No, you go get yours. You know what I mean? That's sorry stuff. So wherever we land, we'll play whoever. No, you go get yours. You go win basketball games. You lock down your spot. You dictate and control your destiny. That's the mentality that you want to take into the playoffs. Stop with the soft stuff. Sorry, stop with the soft stuff. That's soft stuff. You know what I mean? Sean, you said the 3rd seed only gives you a match with the Celtics. I don't care. See, I agree with Kevin with this. Right? I don't care that we have to play the Celtics. I'm not trying to say, well, let's see if we can maneuver this so that we have to play Cleveland. No, man. Come on. Because even if you do maneuver it so you have to play Cleveland, right? And then you beat Cleveland and you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you probably got to play Boston too. Like, why are we so soft with it? Let's just play who's in front of us and beat them. That's it. So lock down the 3rd seed, right? Because that's what winners do. They go get theirs and then beat who's in front of you. Then beat who's there. And if you can't beat them, then you know you got to get better. Right? What? We're hoping for an injury so we can say, oh, we made it. We made it to the Eastern Conference Final. Beat who's there and make it. That's what I want. Beat who's there. You know what I'm saying? Like all that sucker stuff is corny, man. It's corny. Like we trying to let's lose games so we can be in the 4th seed. So Indiana can play Boston in the 2nd round. You know, so we can play Cleveland because we think that's a better matchup for us. You know, that's I don't know. That's not a winner's mentality to me. That's doing too much. That's overthinking it. Just play ball. Just go out there and hoop. That says when we're trying to maneuver like that, that tells me we're not confident. Right? That tells me we're not confident. I'm talking about as a team. As a fan, you may not be confident that we can beat this team or that team. Right? You might not be confident to beat this team or that team. But as a team, your players, your coaches, you got to be confident that you can beat whoever's in front of you. And so if you're trying to run from somebody, that tells me you're scared. Sean, you said this coach ain't good enough to beat the Celtics. Trust me. If he's not good enough to beat the Celtics in second round, he's not good enough to beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So what's it matter? Play them when they're in front of you. Right? Play them when they're in front of you. You know, stop trying, beat the system. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to beat the system. You know, it's corny stuff to me. Just play who's in front of you and be man enough to win. Be man. I know, Sean, I know you hate the coach. I get that. But as long as I know you hate the coach, I get it. But let's still, I don't care who the coach is. As a team, let's have the mentality that we don't duck anyone. Who just said it? Jay Williams said, this is New York, no ducking. We don't duck anyone. Just ball. Just ball. You know what I mean? Kevin, I remember last year, this player on the Sixers literally said, of course we wanted the Knicks. They're the easier matchup. And what happened? We sent them home. Don't duck nobody. Just go out there and ball. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and ball. And whatever happens, happens. That's what men do. Shoot, that's what women do too. That's what adults do. Whoever's in front of you, we do what we got to do. We win. Or the ducking everybody. That's cornball. It's cornball. That's corny. It's corny. You know what I mean? It's corny. I don't know. It's not my style. It's not what I do. It's not what I do. Anyway, we play Cleveland tomorrow night. It's an early game. I don't know. I don't know. If they're playing at full strength, we're playing at full strength as much as we can without JB being there. I don't have us winning that basketball game. So does that mean I'm sitting Karl Anthony? I don't know. I said earlier maybe I'm sitting Karl Anthony Towns. I'm rethinking that statement. Maybe I'll go ahead and play Mitch and Karl Anthony Towns so I can get an eyeball on it, see what it looks like. Start to plan for later. Start to strategize for later. You know what I mean? In the event that we play them in the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see. Donald said, do I plan on doing any playoff lounge games? It's been a rough year for me in that regard, Donald. I don't think so. I think I have to get back on it next season. I'll see where things land, and I'll see where things land as I'm looking at the schedule and dates, things like that. But it's been it's been a rough year in that regard, with just really with with clientele of mine picking up, it's made it difficult to do some of those things. So I'm looking forward to get back out there doing it next year. I really do apologize about that because I would love to be doing it. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to be able to do a couple of watch parties at Legends, you know, in the first and second round, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do any lounge games this year. But, you know, like I said, I'm not sure, but I will, you know, look at the schedule and see how things play out, you know, as far as dates and all of those things. So, you know, I will definitely let you know how that goes, but I'm just going to say right now, you know, my schedule is kind of tough with my schedule because, you know, I'm like constantly on the road, constantly busy, you know, got family things going on. So it should clear up and my schedule gets a little bit lighter next season. You know, but I appreciate you for sticking with me and asking about it though. You know what I mean? Definitely appreciate that. But, you know, listen, I would love to see the Knicks beat Cleveland tomorrow. You know, that would really boost the confidence of this team. Of course, it would set them up, you know, only 2 wins away from locking down that 3rd seed. So I would love to see the Knicks, you know, it's been all season long, the Knicks can't beat those top teams. So to be able to pull out a win against Cleveland at this point in time when both teams are fighting for position, if Cleveland, you know, is playing at full strength, if the Knicks can beat them without JB, then, you know, that'd be nice. You know what I'm saying? That'd be nice. Don said, if we get to the finals, you are doing it. Listen, if we get to the finals, them tickets gonna be real crazy, but yeah, I'm doing it. I got to. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, those ticket prices are gonna be out the roof. You know, but if we get to the finals and we win the NBA finals, you'll definitely see me at the parade. I tell you that. No doubt about that. You know. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'll definitely see you tomorrow night. I'm going to head off now. Hopefully, you know, let's see what happens tomorrow. You know, I would like to see Karl Anthony Towns and Mitch face up against Jared Allen and the other dude. You know, so we can see what that looks like. You know, so we can, you know, Evan Mobley. So you know, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley against Mitch and Cat. You know, see how we match up against those guys. You know, how it would look in the playoffs. Because I do think we'd look different against them, you know, with being able to match up with their size. You know, so I'm interested to see that. You know, even though JB's not there, it'll tell us a story. It'll give us something to build on in the event that we face off against them anywhere in the playoffs. You know, but overall, I just want to see the Knicks compete very hard, not get blown out. If we can pull off a win, pull off a win. You know, we've got to do that for our confidence, for the Knicks team confidence. We got to do that. You know, if we can pull off a win, that's even better. But anyway, folks, I'm up out of here. Tomorrow night's game is at 7. I haven't done a pregame show in a while. If I get a chance to do one, I will. You know, maybe there's a slight chance. I don't know, though. We'll see. Like I said, you know, I got, you know, my schedule is crazy sometimes. But I will see you tomorrow. Sean, Greg, come prepared. You know what I mean? I got bullets for you. So be armored up. You know, those 2 guys like to come at me, but you know, I'm coming at them now. I'm coming at them. So y'all be ready. Sean, Greg, be ready. I'm coming at you. Believe it. Anyway, folks, I'm up out of here. I appreciate y'all. I will see you tomorrow after the game. what is that, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere around there. Yeah, we do need them to call in, but they won't call in. They won't call in because they already know if they call in, they really can't handle. They can hit the keyboard, but they don't know what to do with the hand-to-hand combat. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm out of here, folks. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.